Prime Minister Modi has spoken in the budget session. This is the last session of the parliament before the Lok Sabha elections of 2024. We do see maybe some reactions now immediately coming in, of course, of the opposition as well, but it was all in all a highly politically charged speech, which is what was expected ahead of the elections. The Prime Minister has, while once again presenting what his government has managed to achieve, he has also put forward what is it that previous governments did, what was the mindset of the previous governments, and how that mindset, as per him, kept the country from achieving its pinnacle of development earlier than what it should have been. Big speech there by Prime Minister Modi. A key theme of the speech has also been Jawaharlal Nehru, India's first Prime Minister, and what all he did for the nation, and perhaps the mistakes the Prime Minister says that were made under Nehru, which resulted in delaying India's development by many years and decades. That was the basic premise, it seems, of the speech, because Nehru did feature quite a bit. And one interesting aspect that the Prime Minister, Sumit Peer with us, Himanshu Bhatt also still with us. Sumit, one interesting premise that the Prime Minister laid out in the beginning of the speech itself was how it was under the previous government. It was argued that India would become the fifth largest, that India would rank, the third largest economy in the world in the next 3 decades.
Correct.
That it would take 30 years for us to reach that stage. And Prime Minister Modi says that from 2014 to 2024, in 10 years, we have already reached the position of fifth largest. We were at number 11 and we are now at number 5. And give me 5 more years and I will make you number 3.
I think, Devika ji, this talks about the lack of vision of the opposition. This talks about the lack of confidence in their execution. This talks about their corruption. This talks about their myopia in thinking about the capability of India and Indian. He quoted, what did Prime Minister Nehru think about the India? Then he quoted, what did Indira ji think about the India? Then also, what did other generations of the future Congress talked about the India? You are relaunching one product, and because of the pace and stature or tenure of that one product, you are trying to limit the pace of India. And he had a bit of a pun regarding Mr. P. Chidambaram. दुनिया के सबसे बड़े अर्थशास्त्री. Some people think like that. At 11th, you were very proud and you said you have a vision, you have a mission to take India to number 3 in 3 decades, and what could be done possibly in next 2 years. It will not take 15 years. It will be next 2 years. You will be in the top 3 economies of the world, and it cannot happen on its own. It cannot happen without the political vision. It cannot happen without execution. What you took, the people you took 67 years to give LPG connections, that equivalent or more number of that was done in next 9 years. Look at the Ayushman Bharat scheme. Look at Ujjwala, Prajwala, look at Shauchalaya, look at the roads built, look at the foreign exchange reserves, look at Atmanirbhar Bharat. And you have been always criticizing India, underestimating India, underestimating Indians. I mean, why is the need not to trust the Indians? How come Indians are worse than, when it comes to doing hard work as compared to Americans, Russians and Europeans? That were the things which you were supposed to live in and you were supposed to believe. And the best part I liked, जिन्होंने मेरे देश को लूटा है, उनको सबको वापस देना पड़ेगा. चोरों का महिमा मंडल मत करो. The people who are convicted, the people who have been already taken, who have been granted as offenders by the law, who are declared, why are you doing a mahima mandal of them? And everybody who has looted the country will have to pay back. So the people who will cry tomorrow, ED, CBI, that and that, so no, you have looted the country, then you have to pay back. ED will come and attach your property. You will have to pay it back. So you cannot run away with the loot and plunder of the country. That is the very strongest message he has given. And he, again, the most important point, next 5 years, what we are going to decide is going to lay foundation for the 1,000 years. So next 5 years of Prime Minister Modi are going to be tough. They are going to be direct. He will not spare all. He has been very clear on that. And up ki bar 400 par. I mean, that was the best part. I've been telling on NewsX is 408, but 400 par is what the Honorable Prime Minister says, and 370 for BJP. I think Congress will be rattled. They have no words. After this 1 hour 30 minutes speech, he has covered everything. And how Parivarwad has dismantled a party called Congress, how they have, failed a party called Congress, and how is Congress failing its other alliance? भाई alliance का ये जो alliance है इसका alliance बिगड़ गया. Now where is the India alliance? That is what we have been talking about. There's nothing called India alliance. Where is the India alliance? You started with the alliance, then you went with projecting Rahul Gandhi as a de facto prime ministerial candidate. What was Bharat Naya Yatra about? What was Bharat Jodo Yatra about? It was projecting Rahul Gandhi as the prime ministerial candidate. When we were saying that, they were trying to fight us with us on the TV channels. Now, when the
Yes.
Honorable Prime Minister is saying that, now what do you have to say? And you cannot keep on creating ruckus in the parliament, Mr. Chaudhary. It's so unfortunate. You're such a senior politician, and when he talks about the Congress Parivar, you you get irritated and you start, as if somebody is telling you to come and disrupt the house. Well, all those tactics are exposed, and the first part, Sengol ke piche main aaya, that Hindu way of life, the Sanatani way of life, is what he endorsed his first. So that Bhagwan Sri Ram ka mandir, Pran Pratishtha, Urja ka Sancharan, these are the words which give a very, very powerful and subtle way. It's a Hindu way of life. It's a Hindu way of development. But sabka saath, sabka vikas prayas for all. But it will be a dominant Hindu way of life. That is the reality of Bharat. That is the reality of India. So people have to learn to live with it and don't look into policies by Hindu ko kitna mila, Musalman ko kitna mila, Mahila ko kitna mila, Hindu ko Mahila ko kitna mila, Musalman Mahila ko kitna mila. And I think he had a very strong warning against those people who are trying to create this north-south divide, who are trying to divide the India, and who have been trying to say, no, let's have this division one more time. I think they had a very, very subtle message. And the people who are talking them, remember, they have a lot of ED cases pending against them. Tomorrow they will start crying, bhai, ED aa gayi, ED aa gayi, ED aa gayi. But whenever ED goes and whenever CBI goes, right, how do they recover mountains of cash? How do they recover those, thousands of crores of wealth? By being an MP, how much salary do you get in a year? How are you able to get thousands of crores of wealth? Where did this money come from? People do not
Okay.
question that. What did ED recover? What did CBI recover? They question about the ED and CBI, but they never talk about what did they recover and how did thousands of crores come. That is the fundamental change what Prime Minister Modi brings to the table. And I'm telling you, Devikaji, this must have sent shivers down the spines of the people who were conspiring, who had looted the country, and who had these ill intentions against the country. Again, and even the people who are trying to demoralize the Indian army, trying to break the morale of the 4G. I think the message is a lot clear to all. Everybody has to mend its ways, else आने वाले 5 साल आपके लिए बहुत मुश्किल होने वाले हैं. I think that's a very clear and subtle message.
Absolutely. Rajlakshmi Joshi, bringing you into the conversation. Very, very powerful speech there by the Prime Minister. He's not really minced his words. He's probably addressed all the major issues that have been raised in the past few days in this particular speech. But an overarching theme, Rajlakshmi Joshi, has been about him trying to highlight the sort of mindset there was of the government and of the bureaucracy and of the country as a whole under, say, a Congress party, where he's also gone ahead and said that Jawaharlal Nehru probably thought that all Indians are lazy, and therefore there was no clear vision to propel the country forward. And today, when we've come to power, you see the sort of clarity with which we're working, with full faith and trust in the public itself, and look where the country is today.
Yes, Devika. This was a very fiery speech. And, knowing that it is the last speech of the Prime Minister before the Lok Sabha elections, I think he has used it extremely well to his advantage, and he has completely dissed out the opposition. He has pulled out all the points, right from the time of independence up to today, all the things that the Congress did wrong. And, it was amusing how he said, very strongly that the opposition is doing everything possible to remain where they are right now. So, it does look like the opposition does want to stay that way because, like he said, they have not displayed any kind of a vision. And you are so right. You literally almost stole my words, Devika. I was just going to talk about this mindset that the PM always, he talks about how, there is this shift in the mindset. See, he wants to get rid of the colonial shackles, and all of it comes down to this mindset. So it started right from the first prime minister up to the next ones also. He spoke about how they followed it up with a negative kind of a mindset about our own people, about how they did not have trust in our own people. So now today, PM Modi, he talks about Jan Bhagidari all the time. So it's not always possible to just have the government doing something. The government putting up some schemes and policies is not going to change the country. You have to have a sense of responsibility and belonging from the point of view of the citizens also. And that is exactly what he did right from the first speech that he gave from the Red Fort in, the speech that he spoke about social change. That social change that he spoke about, that I think that was a complete game changer. He spoke about Swachh Bharat, he spoke about Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, he spoke about Atmanirbhar Bharat. All these kind of things, they have brought about a complete change in mindset. Something that, he has brought a sense of pride among all of us. A lot of the people from the opposition, they keep talking about how, oh, so are you trying to say that India became independent only after 2014? No, it is not that way, but it is as if, we did not really have that sense of pride. We did not have that confidence that we are anywhere close to being a Vishwaguru. This term of being a Vishwaguru, I think that kind of a mindset, that was very important for us to have that attitude that we are going to do what suits our interests first. So today we have this confidence that we can tell all the superpowers, all the powers that we are going to look at our own interests, and we don't really care about all the sanctions that you are putting up. And at the same time, we are so strong today that those powers, even if they put up the sanctions, they take it back, because for them we are such a formidable force today.
Right.
So that, I think, is something that has completely changed, Devika, and he has very efficiently brought all of that out in the open. He spoke about all his achievements. He completely pulled down the opposition about how they are dividing the populace over everything possible. He so strongly he asked them about whether the minorities are not a part of the youth, about the ladies, about the kisan, about in any of those fisheries. It was such a strong statement that yes, they are a part of every part of our populace. So how can you simply saying that nothing is being done for the minorities?
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.